Hello everybody, Loader for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time around it is my Dark Magician deck profile for good old December 2017, just around Christmas time now. Oh boy, so Dark Magician is a really, of course, just big nostalgia factor for me and a lot of other people who have been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time, or maybe grew up with the TV show. And so it was only a matter of time before Konami gave him a full archetype and a deck and everything. And it's a really, honestly fun archetype. It's a really fun deck. It's not as good as Blue Eyes ever was, although it's definitely getting there. I think like that really, honestly, Dark Magician just needs like 2 to 3 more support cards, really good ones. And the deck is going to be right up there with Blue Eyes in terms of playability. But even so, we got what we got to work with, and I'm just happy that they finally reprinted everything to make everything cheap, because before the Legendary Dragon decks and the Megatons came out, building a Dark Magician deck costed more than building full power Zodiac at its time when everything was legal. Oh god. Anyway, so let's go into deck profile. So, first and foremost, we got triple Dark Magician. Of course, he's the main star of the show. He's your main boss monster, so on and so forth. And really is what the deck really integrally centers around. And there's so many different ways to get him out on the field, out of your hand, into the grave, everywhere, so forth. Really good card just for being a level 7, 2500 beater. And thanks to all the support cards for him, he becomes a force to be reckoned with and is really what you're going to be mainly wanting to be summoning all the time. Next up, we got triple Apprentice Illusion Magician. This card is just single-handedly one of the best cards in the deck, easily. So, she's level 6, 2000 attack, 1700 defense. I believe those are basically Dark Magician Girl stats. I might be off about the defense, but oh well. So you can pitch a card, special summon her from your hand. Whenever she is special summoned, you can add any Dark Magician monster from your deck to your hand. So you can, well, you can pretty much only add Dark Magician, unless we get another monster that pretends to be him, but oh well. So you get to search them out from your deck to your hand, and then during each player's battle phase, whenever another Dark Spellcaster is battling, you can send her from your hand or field to the graveyard to boost up that monster by 2000 attack and defense. Really powerful card. Actually, I think it only pumps up attack power. Nope, but boosts up both. Okay, cool, I'm right. So yeah, you just send her to grave, boost up your Dark Magician to 4500, and well, just be able to punch for a bunch of damage. Next up, I got a card that I haven't seen many other people play in the build, in any builds really, and that is Chocolate Magician Girl. So Chocolate Magician Girl, she is easily the best of the Magician Girl archetype, which I also have a deck profile of, and I'll probably like annotate it somewhere, I don't know. But anyways, she's easily the best of the Magician Girl archetype. Magician Girls really all have like one common theme, and that's where like, oh, whenever you attack it, they spell summon another magician from your hand or field or whatever. And she's no different, but however, she has one key integral part, and that is where once per turn you can discard a spellcaster to draw a card. So you got a Dark Magician in your hand, you can normal summon her, pitch her to the pitch Dark Magician to the grave, get a new card, and then if your opponent attacks Chocolate Magician Girl, you can special summon that Dark Magician from your graveyard, and then it redirects the attack to that Dark Magician. Really powerful card in general. I don't get why nobody really plays her in the deck. I originally wasn't, and then I found that I just did not have that many monsters, and I always just dead drew with a bunch of spells and traps. So I decided to put her in, and I found that the deck's consistency and power and just playability has really gone up thanks to her. Next up, we got 3 Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod is a really powerful card. Well, I've been saying that about just about everything. Whenever you normal summon him, you search out any Dark Magician spell or trap card, or, well, rather, I should say, spell or trap card that lists Dark Magician in the name. It has to list the Dark Magician archetype, not Dark Magician in particular, so therefore, it has to list Dark Magician in particular, not the Dark Magician archetype. I got it flipped around. So it's just really good. If he's in your graveyard and you activate a spell or trap card during your opponent's turn, you contribute a spellcaster to add him back in your hand. And pretty good card overall. Just really, you want to see him within the first turn or two so you can get that search power going. Now then for the one-ofs, I play 1 Palladium Oracle Mahad. I know some people play him, some people don't. However, because of the effect of one of these spells we'll get to here shortly, you can stack your deck, put them on top of your deck, and then you can draw into them and use his effect. So, for those who don't know what Palladium Oracle Mahad does, He's level 8 or 7, I can't tell. I'm pretty sure he's level 7 though. Actually, wait. Yeah, he's level 7. He has the stats of Dark Magician, but however, he's a light instead of a dark. And then if you draw into him for your normal draw for your turn, you can reveal him, special summon him from your hand. If he battles a dark monster, his attack is doubled. So he becomes a 5,000 beater. And if he dies by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or grave. Just a really good card in general. One Magician of Dark Illusion. I have a love-hate relationship with this card, I'm going to be completely honest. On one hand, I love it that he counts as Dark Magician, but on the other hand, he only counts as Dark Magician while on the field. Okay? He does not count as Dark Magician anywhere else, and it's incredibly obnoxious. This card is just really could have been so much better, and he's just right now kind of a one of in the deck because he can be such a dead draw. So what he does is if you activate a spell card or trap card during your opponent's turn, you can spell summon it from your hand. When you do, you can spell summon a Dark Magician from your graveyard, and if you, during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell, trap card, or effect, except during the damage step, you can spell summon from your hand. If you activate a spell, trap, or a spell or trap card or effect while this card is face up on the field, except during the damage step, you can target a Dark Magician in your graveyard, spell summon it. That effect can only be used once while he's on the field. And then he's counted as Dark Magician while only on the field. And that's my big thing that I hate about this. You can only treat him as Dark Magician while he's on the field. So that means if he's in your graveyard, you can't bring him back with Eternal Soul. You can't bring him back with anything that like labels Dark Magician in particular. He only counts as Dark Magician on the field. It's incredibly stupid. And then we got one Maxi, because Maxi is the best cheap hand trap. And Maxi is just awesome. Now then for the spells. We got 3 Dark Magical Circle. So, Dark Magical Circle, this card is stupid. So when you activate it, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck. If there's a Dark Magician or a card that lists Dark Magician, you can reveal it, add it to your hand, and then you can stack the other cards on top of your deck in any order that you want. And you get to do the stacking no matter what, even if you don't have a Dark Magician card that you revealed in your first 3 cards. So then, of course, that's how you stack Palladium Oracle Mahad with this thing. And then, once per turn, during your first turn, whenever Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to your field, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. This card is just so incredibly good. It's what really gives the deck its power, along with the continuous trap card, Eternal Soul, that we'll get to here in a little bit. This card is insane. You can only use both effects as a hard once per turn, so if you have multiples, you can't get 2 banishings, you can't get 2 stackings or 2 searches or anything. But either way, it's still such an incredibly powerful card that you really have to play 3 of it. Next up, this is the Timaeus build. I should have mentioned that earlier. I really like the Eye of Timaeus. It's a really powerful card. It lets you go into any of the fusions, especially the best one, just very easily. The only real issue with this card is that it's not searchable. Yes, it does specifically say Dark Magician in the card text, but since this was printed before Dark Magician got an archetype, they just simply said Dark Magician monster in the thing. So then that implies the whole archetype, which then also means that he's not specifically listing Dark Magician, because he can also be used on Dark Magician Girl. And so therefore you can't search it because it doesn't specifically list Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. So yeah, really stupid. It's still a really powerful card though, just being able to let you go into some of the best fusions in the archetype. But still, I really wish that you could search it and make it a lot better. Next up, we got Triple Pot of Duality. This deck does not do much special summoning during your turn, so it's really helpful just to get that extra search on and just really be able to dig through your deck even more. Adds a lot of consistency, something that this deck really needs. I got 2 secret fields of the spellcasters. This card is one of the most obnoxious field spells in the game. While you control a spellcaster, your opponent cannot activate a spell card, and your opponent also has to not control a spellcaster. Spellcasters aren't exactly the most popular typing in the game, so therefore, if you activate this, you summon out Dark Magician, your opponent can't activate any spells whatsoever. It just is really obnoxious. Now, of course, if you're doing against Pendulum Magicians, all they got to do is normal summon a monster, and bang, they can summon out, they can, well, play spells again. But however, if you're doing against anything like Spiral or yeah, that's about it for the popular decks, isn't it? Oh yeah, Trick Stars. Yeah, if you're doing against Spirals or Trick Stars, you pretty much screwed them over unless Spirals somehow managed to get out Master Plan, who is a spellcaster, but even then they're going to usually link off of her. So yeah, still a really powerful card for just a lot of matchups. Incredibly useful. Then I got another card that I don't see much of, Dark Magic Veil. So this card, you pay 1,000 life points, special summon a dark spellcaster from your hand or graveyard. Generally speaking, you're going to be using it from the graveyard, you know, bringing out a monster from the graveyard. But it can bring back any dark spellcaster, and that makes it really, really, really good, I feel like. And heck, even if you like just dead draw a bunch of Dark Magicians and you have this, you can still do something. It's better than nothing. But it's a really, really useful card. One dark magic attack. It's a Harpy's Feather Duster for the archetype. I mean, what else can I say? And it's searchable too, so. One dark magic inheritance. So this card is basically a 4th rod. You can banish 2 spells in your graveyard to search out any dark magician spell or trap card that lists, well, dark magician or dark magician girl. But however, you can't search itself. So yeah, it's still a really good card though. Then we got Illusion Magic, just this card. So you tribute a spellcaster, and then you search out any 2 Dark Magicians from your hand, or sorry, from your deck or graveyard. Generally speaking, you're going to be using this as recursion to get them back from the graveyard, because Apprentice's Illusion Magician is fully capable of getting a Dark Magician out of the deck. Not to mention you have another card that will be getting Dark Magician out of the deck pretty easily as well. One Terraforming, search out the Secret Village. And now then onto the traps. First and foremost, we got the, honestly, arguably the main card that really makes this deck work, Eternal Soul. So this card, while it's face up on the field, all Dark Magicians you control are unaffected by all card effects, or by your opponent's card effects. So every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. If this face up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters you control. You can only use each of the following effects of Eternal Soul once per turn. You can only activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or grave, or add a Dark Magic attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. So this card, the big thing is that it can bring back Dark Magician, and it also makes it to where he's unaffected by all of your opponent's card effects, which basically means that they have to kill Dark Magician in battle, and thanks to Apprentice Illusion Magician, you can pump him up to 4,500, which makes him, well, basically unkillable, unless your opponent has a Kaiju. And even if that happens, you can just bring them back right away. So it's really, really stupid. It's a powerful card. The big issue is that if it leaves the field, it nukes your monster zone, which there's ways to stop that, and it's really, really good. Next up, I got triple Magician's Navigation. So this card is another really powerful trap card. So whenever you activate it, you special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, and 1 level 7 or lower spellcaster from your deck. Actually, I think it has to be a dark spellcaster, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 level 7 or lower dark spellcaster from your deck. And then while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to negate any spell or trap card that your opponent controls. But you can only do that once. Well, you can only do that after the turn that it was sent there. So you can't use it and then use it from the grave. Sorry about the interruption. So yeah, anyways, Magician's Navigation is just an overall really great card, and I feel like it should be played at 3, but I don't know. I can understand why maybe some people would want to play 2 of it, because it can be a bit dead mid to late game, but either way, it's still a pretty great card, especially for going off and getting ready for early to mid game. Then we got 2 Mirror Force for defense. Nobody was really playing Battle Traps, so nobody expects Battle Traps, so I feel like Battle Traps are a bit underrated right now because nobody expects them, and so whenever they go for an attack and you Mirror Force somebody, they're just like, what? So it's really great for defense and overall, because generally speaking, this deck just really lacks in the defense for the most part, and yeah. So moving on to the extra deck, we got good old double of the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. This guy is incredibly powerful. He's one of the main reasons why I wanted to really just build Dark Magicians with the new stuff. Is that, well, mostly because he just has a stupid effect. So he counts as Dark Magician while on the field and in the graveyard, something that the Illusion Sorcerer couldn't do for some stupid reason. He's 3k attack, so he's a beater. And also, while he's on the field, your opponent cannot target or destroy any of your back row. So then, since he's Dark Magician, Eternal Soul makes him unaffected by card effects. And since he makes where Eternal Soul is just unkillable, you can literally get a 3k just freaking Apocryphal Towers, which actually Apocryphal Towers was 3k. So you get the Apocryphal Towers. It's really, really stupid. Incredibly powerful. I keep saying that a lot. I need to stop that. But still, it's a really, really, really good card for the deck, and it's just really, really, really useful. One Dark Paladin, because you can summon him off of Timaeus. He can, this guy can steal games against Pendulum Magicians, because if you summon him with a full like hand and stuff, and you have like 4 or 5 cards in hand, your opponent just can't activate anything. So it's really, really stupid. Amino Dragon is just another just generic thing. If I had a second Dark Paladin, I'd probably play 2 Dark Paladin instead of Amino the Dragon. So if you happen to be one of the lucky people out there to have 2 Dark Paladins, just swap out the Amino Dragon for a Dark Paladin. Amino Dragon doesn't really do much other than be a beater. If he dies, you can summon out any spellcaster from your graveyard, or except if it's any spellcaster. Yeah, any spellcaster from your graveyard. So he has that nice little recursion effect, but for the most part, he's just a beater. That's it for the fusions. I really wish I could play Dark Magician Girl to Dragon Knight, but Dark Magician Girl is not a good card, and freaking Apprentice Illusion Magician does not count as her for some silly reason, so yeah. Now then, because we got some level 3s, just in case, number 47, Nightmare Shark, just for that extra 2k damage direct. 1 Castell, 1 101, 1 Baguska, 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia to Lightning. Since we do have the level 6 that we can summon multiples of, super easy. 1 number 24 Dragonless, the Vampiric Dragon. This thing is really, really stupid. You can Book a Moon anything during your player's turn. If he is Book a Moon himself and he face up, he can send a card on field to the graveyard. And if he leaves the field by a card effect, you can spell summon from wherever, face down in defense position. It's really, really, really stupid. And kind of a really underrated rank 6. 1 Ebon High Magician, really, really useful card. Lets you activate quick play spells and traps during your opponent's turn from your hand, but you gotta detach each time you do it. And then if he dies, you can spell summon a monster, pop a card. It's just really, really, really good. 1 Ebon Illusion Magician. So this thing is also really good. You can rank him up from a rank 6 spellcaster, but aside from Norito, the Moral Leader, who isn't really even all that great, this thing can't really rank up very much because he's intended to be placed on top of Magic Magician Gal, but we're never going to get her, so yeah. But anyway, so you can detach and seize material, spell summon a normal monster from your deck, and then if a normal monster attacks, you can banish a card your opponent controls. Really, really powerful, really, really useful. 1 number 11 Big Eye, just, you know, this card is stupid. And then 1 number 74 Master of Blades, because a lot of stuff targets, you know, like freaking Masterpiece, stuff like that, and Time Pendulum Graph, you know, stuff like that. So if you're going against a deck that has a lot of targeting effects, this card stops it and then lets you pop a card. Very, very useful. You notice I don't have Mecha Phantom Beast Drakossack in here. I don't have one, and honestly, I don't really think he's really all that great anymore, which is weird because that card used to be like almost $200. So guys, that's the deck profile. What do you guys think of my build of Dark Magician? I love this deck a lot. You know, Dark Magician's a piece of my childhood, and it's just such a great deck. It's nothing really that, like, I think you could probably take to a regional and probably do mediocre. Well, I wouldn't say mediocre, but you could probably take this to a regional, and depending on your matchups and depending on your hands, you could probably do well. Maybe not in spiral format, but maybe in a future format. But still, this deck is really fun. It's really useful and can just do a lot of cool stuff. And I feel like a lot of more people should probably try it out, because especially at least get your hands on the cards. Because if Dark Magician gets like 2 to 3 more good cards, this deck is going to be stupid. But I digress. So guys, what do you guys think of this build? What's your ideas, recommendations, concerns? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out.